The Amish have been keeping chickens for over 200 years, and in all that time they never once worried about feed store prices going up. Not because they had extra money, not because they had better land, but because they understood one thing most chicken keepers today have forgotten. You don't buy feed, you grow it. Today I'm going to walk you through 5 plants the Amish have used for generations to feed their flocks for free. These plants grow back every single season. You plant them once, and they keep giving. Better nutrition than most bags you'll find at the store, and it costs you almost nothing. If you're someone who wants to depend less on stores and more on what you can grow yourself, stay with me. Let's get into it. Plant 1. Moringa. Think about what you spend on feed every month. $50? $70? Maybe more. And that's before everything else your homestead needs from you. The Amish don't think that way. They think in systems, things they plant once and rely on for years. Moringa is one of those systems. Moringa leaves carry around 27% protein. That's more than most commercial feed you'll buy off the shelf. They're also loaded with vitamin A, vitamin C, and calcium, the exact things your laying hens need for strong eggshells, steady egg production, and a healthy immune system. Put fresh moringa leaves in front of your chickens and watch what happens. They go for those first, before anything else. What makes it fit the Amish way of thinking is simple. It doesn't need much from you. It handles dry weather better than almost anything else you'll grow. You cut it back and instead of slowing down, it grows faster. Farmers across warm climates have been using moringa to feed animals for centuries. The Amish didn't discover it, they just never stopped using it. Here's how simple it is. Get a moringa seedling or a cutting. Find a sunny patch of ground. Plant it once. Every 2 to 3 weeks through the growing season, strip the leaves off and feed them fresh to your birds. No replanting, no complicated routine. One tree in its first year can grow 10 feet tall and give you several pounds of leaves every harvest. The more you cut, the more it gives back. You can feed the leaves fresh or dry them and store them for the colder months when the tree isn't producing. Either way works perfectly. One small tip. When the tree produces more than your flock can eat in a week, dry the extra leaves and grind them into powder. Moringa powder holds its nutrition for months. Build up a supply during the warm season, and you'll have homegrown protein to add to feed all through winter, even when the tree is dormant. The Amish waste nothing. This is how you make sure nothing from your tree goes to waste either. Plant 2. Comfrey. Walk through a traditional Amish farm, and you'll find comfrey somewhere, usually near the barn, along a fence line, beside the garden. Ask why, and the answer is straightforward, because it never stops. Comfrey roots push 10 feet straight down into the soil. Most plants live in the top few inches of dirt. Comfrey goes deep and pulls up phosphorus, potassium, calcium, and iron that nothing else around it can reach. All of that ends up concentrated in the leaves. Those leaves run 20 to 25% protein. That's the same level as expensive protein supplements people buy specifically for laying hens. The calcium alone is worth talking about. Strong eggshells, healthy bones, consistent laying. Chickens will eat comfrey fresh, wilted, or chopped. No processing needed. You cut it, they eat it. And once you plant it, you're done planting it. Comfrey patches have been growing from the same roots for over 20 years. On a homestead that needs things to hold up year after year, that matters more than almost anything. Find root cuttings or a small potted plant from a garden supplier or a homesteading group online. They're cheap and easy to ship. Plant them somewhere permanent. Comfrey does not like being moved once it settles in. A fence line near the coop, the edge of a garden bed, anywhere you already walk works perfectly. Pick your spot with intention and leave it there. Every 4 to 5 weeks through the growing season, cut the leaves and feed them to your flock. Most people let the leaves wilt in the shade for an hour first. It softens them up. Then toss them in and let the chickens do the rest. One healthy plant gives you 4 to 5 harvests per season. 4 or 5 plants can carry a small flock through most of the warm months, with very little commercial feed needed. One small tip: plant your comfrey close to where you already walk every morning, near the coop, along the path to the barn. When it's in your daily route, harvesting takes less than a minute. It fits into your routine without adding a single extra step. That's the Amish way. Make the good habit the easy habit. If this is useful so far, hit the like button. It helps other people building this kind of life find this video. And drop a comment below. Which plant makes the most sense for where you are right now? I read every single one. Plant 3, Azolla. Not every yard has good soil. Not everyone has room for trees or big garden beds. The Amish knew this, so they found ways to grow feed that don't need land at all. Azolla is a floating water fern. It doubles its size every 3 to 5 days in a container no bigger than a plastic storage bin. No soil, no garden beds, just water and light. Azolla carries 25 to 35% protein. It also has vitamins A and B12, iron, calcium, and amino acids your chickens need for strong muscles, steady egg production, and a solid immune system. Chickens love it. It's soft, easy to digest, and they eat it the moment it hits the ground. Farmers across Asia have used Azolla to feed poultry for generations. For the Amish, who waste nothing and use everything with intention, a crop that doubles every few days in a container of water earns a permanent place on the farm. To get started, you need 3 things: a shallow container, water, and an Azolla starter culture. The container can be anything: a kiddie pool, a plastic bin, a half barrel. Fill it with 4 to 6 inches of water. Float your starter on top. Set it somewhere with partial sun. Too much direct afternoon sun in summer will slow it down, so a little shade in the hottest part of the day helps. Starter cultures are inexpensive and ship easily from aquatic suppliers or homesteading groups online. Every few days, scoop out about half of what's growing and feed it straight to your birds. What stays in the container grows back and fills up again within days. Scoop, feed, regrow, repeat. No planting, no weeding, no soil needed at any point. One small container produces several pounds of fresh feed per week. 2 or 3 containers can cover a meaningful share of protein needs for a flock of 6 to 10 birds through the warm months. One small tip: run 2 or 3 containers instead of just one. Azolla can crash in extreme heat above 95 degrees, or if water quality drops suddenly. With multiple containers, if one fails, you have backup cultures to pull from and keep going. The Amish don't put all their eggs in one basket. Don't put all your Azolla in one container either. Plant 4, tree collards. Most garden plants follow the same cycle: plant, grow, harvest, die, start over next year. The Amish don't build their farms around things that die every season. Tree collards live for 5, 8, sometimes 10 years from a single planting. They feed your flock every year with no seasonal restart, no replanting, no beginning again from scratch. Tree collards grow 6 to 10 feet tall and push out large, nutritious leaves continuously, not just one season, but year after year. Rich in vitamins A, C, and K, packed with calcium, iron, and antioxidants. Everything a laying hen needs for consistent eggs, strong shells, and good health is in those leaves. Tree collards don't grow from seed. You start them from cuttings that root in soil or water within 2 to 3 weeks. Find cuttings from someone already growing them or buy starter plants from specialty nurseries online. Plant in well-drained soil with good sun. One cutting in the right spot gives you years of fresh feed from a plant that asks almost nothing from you. Once a week, pull the outer leaves and toss them to your chickens. The plant keeps pushing out new growth from the center without stopping. One mature plant gives you several pounds of greens every month. 4 to 6 plants cover fresh greens for a small flock through most of the growing season without spending anything on purchased feed. Once a year, cut back the woody stems and mulch around the base. That keeps the plant producing young, tender leaves instead of growing tall and stringy. Picture stepping outside in November when your garden is bare and feed prices are where they always seem to be, and cutting fresh greens for your flock. That's what you get with tree collards. One small tip: keep backup plants. Tree collards are easy to propagate. Within a year or two, most people have more cuttings than they need, which means extras to share with neighbors doing the same work. That's how real knowledge spreads. Plant to plant, neighbor to neighbor. The Amish have always known this. Plant 5. Amaranth. Most plants give you one thing. Comfrey gives you protein. Moringa gives you leaves. Tree collards give you greens. But Amaranth gives you everything. Fresh greens through spring and summer. High-protein seeds for fall and winter. A plant that comes back every year without you doing a single thing. For the Amish, who believe in building things that run without constant input from you, Amaranth checks every box. Amaranth leaves are soft and fast-growing, and chickens eat them without any encouragement. The seeds carry 13 to 14% protein, all the essential amino acids, plus iron, calcium, magnesium, and B vitamins. You get greens and grain from one plant. Here's what makes it special. Once you plant it, you never have to plant it again. It flowers. It drops seeds. Every spring it comes back on its own. You plant it once and it handles the rest. Every year, without you. The Amish kept growing amaranth for generations because once it's on your land, it never needs restarting. That's not laziness, that's wisdom. Get grain variety seeds like Golden Giant or Hopi Red. Scatter them on the ground, rake lightly, and water. That's the only time you'll ever plant them. Early in the season, pull crowded seedlings and toss them straight to your chickens. Fresh greens right from the start. As the plants get bigger, keep pulling outer leaves through the summer. Then in late summer, let some plants flower and grow their seed heads. When they're ready, harvest those heads, dry them, and feed them whole to your birds. Or let a few seeds fall on the ground, and they'll come back on their own next year. Amaranth handles heat, drought, and poor soil without any help. It grows fast enough to crowd out weeds on its own. The only real job is managing where it self-seeds, so it stays where you want it. One small tip: cut the seed heads when they're about 90% mature before they drop on their own. Dry them fully, then either feed them to your birds or scatter them in spots where you want next year's crop to come up. The part most people miss. Here's the piece that ties everything together, and it's the real reason the Amish system works as well as it does. They don't grow these 5 plants as 5 separate projects. They design their land around them. Each plant fills a different nutritional gap in a different season. Stacked together across a property, they produce fresh, diverse feed almost every month of the year without adding extra trips or extra tasks to anyone's day. Every plant earns its spot. Every placement has a reason. Together, these 5 plants give your flock fresh feed from spring through winter. Not because you worked harder, because you laid out your land the same way the Amish did, with intention. Feeding your chickens stops being a separate chore. It becomes part of walking through your property every day, as natural as it was on Amish farms 200 years ago. The Amish didn't build self-sufficient farms overnight. They built them one plant at a time, one system at a time, one season at a time. You don't need to replace all your feed this month. You don't need to overhaul your whole yard before winter. You just need to start one thing this week. Start small. Start imperfect. That's how every real homestead actually begins. Not with a finished plan, but with a first step. As that first plant takes root and starts producing, you'll naturally want to add another, then another. Before long, you'll have a layered system feeding your flock through every season, the same way the Amish have done it for over 200 years. Simple, proven, free. If you want more ideas like this, subscribe. Every week I share practical systems built for real people doing this work in the real world. I'll see you in the next one.